I realized as I was editing the video today that I didn't talk about what happened with the Holly. So it does still have an issue. I don't remember if I mentioned this or not, but I bought a spare unit. I know that's a little extreme, but I bought a refurb unit, which is a couple $100 off. And I'm going to keep the other one in the trunk as a spare. Other than it getting flaky when it's real hot, it never acted up again. But I'm probably going to send it into Holly and just have them go through it. I did get a spare unit that's a rebuild. That's what's on the car right now. A couple of channel updates real quick. I'm putting out content a little less frequently. I've just been pretty busy. I know I get some comments on this, and I know I talk quite a bit. I talk a lot. Now, some people learn that way. Some people learn by listening. I'm going to try and kind of tone that down a little bit to find a happy medium. So I just wanted to put that out there because I do get comments occasionally, although I do get comments sometimes where people really appreciate how I explain things. So, if you find that I talk too much, it might not be the right channel for you. I'm not sure, but I am going to try my best to improve that. So the 200. Boy, have I battled this thing, and it's just given me a run for my money. It's probably because I've been a Chevy guy my whole life. This is the Jeff Jones conversion. We did get it through the break-in the last video, no problems. We developed a head gasket external leak, which Jeff has never seen, and I've now seen twice with these motors, so I'm starting to find it hard to believe that doesn't happen that often, but it did. So I had to yank the head, and we do know what went wrong. Thorough analysis conducted. Jeff doesn't use head studs very often, and the couple times that he has used them, whoever he gave the motor to put it on themselves. Jeff doesn't like taking these things over 65 foot-pounds, which is fine. Ford says 70 to 75, and that's not just Jeff, by the way. I'm not going to blame Jeff for this. My local guy that I've known for 25 years told me the same thing back with the old motor. He said only go to 65 foot with them, because the deck's still ductile iron. Well, it leaked. It leaked from lack of compression of the gasket. And the reason for that is because with the studs, ARP rates all of their torques using the Moly paste that they give you. Let me show you that actually. This is the Moly paste. ARP, ultra low torque fastener lubricant. They spent years developing this, and their torques are based using this. You can't put machine oil or motor oil on the studs. That doesn't work. You'll get false torque values. So couple that, Jeff did not use that, and couple that with 65 foot-pounds, you end up with a leak. I did have a gasket on hand. Dan came over, my friend, and we knocked this thing out in a couple of hours, swapped it out, no leaks. However, we do have another problem, and that is necessitating having to replace the head. So Jeff, he's been 100% supportive. I'm telling you right now, the guy's good. He really is, and he really does know what he's talking about. But, these errors can happen. They can, and I'm not going to blame him, and I'm still going to recommend that you use Jeff. And on top of it, he's absolutely stood behind this. He even offered just to build me another motor. He said, look, I'll just build you another motor. He said, we'll swap it out. And we kind of talked about it for a little bit. And I said, I don't know that that's necessary. We're honing in on it. So I'm kicking myself in the ass for this because I know better than just about anybody how much an exhaust leak can screw up fuel injection. And I've talked about that. If you want to go back and look at my Phytech videos, I've talked about how important it is to make sure you don't have exhaust leaks. Well, I was kind of in denial, and there is a braze joint on the log that has failed, and it's leaking exhaust. I was chalking it up to, wow, this sniper's really loud, because everybody knows the injectors in a sniper are really loud. That was not it. It had a pretty substantial exhaust leak that was screwing up the closed loop circuit. It was screwing that up so bad. This thing was just running awful, and I couldn't quite get it tuned out of it. And normally, normally your plugs will go black when you got an exhaust leak. This thing was dumping so much fuel it washed the cylinder. So it's still good. The motor's still good. We didn't get too much fuel into it or anything, but it was so bad. It wasn't getting a complete burn, and the plugs were looking lean. They were actually looking sticky. And I'm thinking, have I got a coolant leak? Is the head gasket not sealing? There was none of that. None of that. So, anyways, Jeff said, look, he didn't even want me to risk repairing this head. He said, pull the head. He said, I'm shipping you a new one and a return label. Just send me the old head. And I'm shipping you a brand new, or newly built, freshly built 2V conversion head. So he's finishing that up today. I should have it by the end of the week, and we're going to go ahead and do another head swap out on this. I'm getting real good at them now. Now, what I did in the interim is the leak. I found it. It's down right above the exhaust port. Where there was a previous repair. Not sure when that happened, but anyways, that was what was leaking. I took some high temp JB Weld just as a test, folks. No, I don't use JB Weld as a permanent repair. And just as a test, I cleaned it up and I put some high temp JB Weld in there and sealed it up. The exhaust leak is gone and things running far better. It still needs some tuning, but I mean, it's totally drivable, completely drivable. Plenty of power. The low end's a little lacking right now. That could be, it's probably just tuning at this point. I could totally drive it the way that it is. So anyways, we're going to get this head swapped out coming up this weekend. Here's just a quick peek of where the leak is. It's very difficult to see with the valve cover and the sniper on it. But that putty right there, it's down in that corner above 3.4.